This is your solution? This is who you're going to rely on to solve your everlasting problem of huge, embarrassing failure? You're going to rely on someone that helped you achieve failure to begin with? What the hell's going on here? Normally, when you are dealing with consistent failure, you bring in someone from the outside to solve the problem. Or you go with a new face, a new voice, someone who can convince people to follow their lead. Or in the case of CNN, someone who can convince people to watch this dump of a network. Over the last 3 or so years, my New Orleans Saints have been a consistent failure. At minimum, you could describe my Saints as mediocre, but in the NFL, mediocrity, that is the last place you want to be, especially with an aging roster who is being led by the face of mediocrity, Donnie Carr. Thing about Donnie Carr is he can be effective with the right leadership. Donnie doesn't have the ability to overcome incompetence, which is why he struggled under the lack of leadership of Dennis Allen, the biggest loser in the history of the NFL. Matter of fact, I am surprised that no one in my audience has nominated Denise Allen for the second annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. Now, my personal nomination, it's already been solidified. You guys voted for my nominee. So, someone, please do me a favor. Shoot me an email and nominate Denise for the HEF Awards, btlkc84@gmail.com. After 3 years of struggling, after 3 years of incompetence, after 3 years of feminine behavior from your head coach, 3 years of apologies and excuses, Saints owner Gail Benson finally had enough. She booked Dennis Allen a third-class ticket on the Bruce Caboose, and she told his ass, "You are no longer welcome in New Orleans." They promoted special teams coordinator Darren Rizzy. They make him the interim head coach. The past 2 games, the Saints have looked like a completely different team. Now, one of the reasons they look different is because they're actually winning games, but it's not just the winning, it's how they are winning. Instead of finding ways to lose, which was common under Dennis Allen, the Saints, they are finding ways to win. It's the same players, same system. The only thing that's different is the leadership, the voice, the face of the team. One person made the difference. I keep waiting and waiting and waiting to see something similar at CNN. I keep waiting for CNN to create a star. I keep waiting for CNN to hire someone who has the potential to save the network. I keep waiting for CNN to keep their promise to eradicate the woke fungus and distance themselves from the people responsible for destroying the network. Apparently, CNN President Mark Thompson, he has somewhat of the same vision. This morning, Mark Thompson, he made an exciting announcement about the future of CNN. Well, KC, did they finally fire Wolf Blitzer? Woof, woof, woof. No, the woofer, he is in catering, enjoying the complimentary kibbles and bits. CNN, they did not announce any layoffs yet. Instead, they announced a promotion. This promotion, it signifies who CNN is putting their machine behind. It signifies who CNN believes can be the face of their network and save the network. With their announcement this morning, CNN sent a clear message that Caitlyn Collins, Katie Woo! With the announcement this morning, CNN told us that the Roo is their savior. They are relying on the Roo to be their hero. I can be your hero, baby. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Get to the sponsor for today's video, Soul Dog USA. Even though the cat ladies at Woke United Methodist like to claim that Garfield is man's best friend, we all know that distinction really belongs to dogs. You can do or say whatever the hell you want about me, but you can't do shit to my girls Chew and Oreo. My friends at Soul Dog USA, they feel the same way about their dogs. Soul Dog USA is an animal-loving, patriotic clothing brand. Do you like the open road and enjoy your God-given American freedom? Soul Dog USA has the clothing apparel for you. They've got patriotic hats, hoodies, shirts, and they got huggers for the patriotic adult beverage of your choice. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10. Save 10% off your first purchase with Soul Dog USA. This morning, CNN proudly announced that Kaitlan Collins had accomplished a first. And you guys know how much the lonely male wanker spankers love a first. The Rue, she is going to become the first star. Well, I can't really describe Rue as a star. The other day, I saw her face on one of those missing persons posters. The poster, it had the beautiful face of Katie Rue, but instead of having her name as Caitlyn, they mistakenly put Maitland. I can't call you a star when your family and friends forget your own first name. Rue, she's going to become the first woke welfare collector at CNN to be the host of a primetime dump, while also being the White House correspondent for the network. Now, for those that don't know, Caitlyn Collins was previously the White House correspondent at CNN. For reasons unknown, they took her out of that position to put her on television. They paired her with Donnie and his Lemons on CNN this morning, which launched Rue's career as a huge embarrassing failure. Now, this promotion of Caitlyn Collins, it's strange. It's very weird. I have never worked in the media, so I'm not too familiar with the role of a White House correspondent, but judging by the job title, I'm assuming their primary responsibility is covering the president. Last I checked, the Trumper was set to begin his second term in January, thank God. I know CNN views the Rue as a big star, but her promotion to this position is strange because Caitlyn Collins, she's already been kicked out of the White House before. Back in 2018, when CNN was actually drawing respectable ratings, Caitlyn Collins was a poll reporter at the White House. She was one of those anonymous faces in the den of hyenas pestering the Trumper with annoying questions that no one gave a shit about. Mr. President, why are you on social media at 2 in the morning? Why are you being a meanie? Shouldn't you be resting? Our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, he always made sure to get his beauty sleep. During one of these useless media sessions back in 2018, the Rue kept pressing the Trumper on his mythical friendship with Vlad Putin. Now, this had been going on for a while. Every time Rue would see the Trumper, she would ask him about the Putin. Caitlyn Collins was so annoying to a man that has been pestered by the media for the last 50 years. If there's anyone who has patience in dealing with the media, it's the Trumper. Caitlyn Collins was so annoying. Donald Trump banned her from the White House. He put her on the bruise caboose right next to Denise Allen and told her to never come back. So imagine my surprise when CNN announces this morning that Kaitlan Collins will be their new White House correspondent. Doesn't make sense to me, but what the hell do I know? I am not sinking the Titanic. What makes this even more confusing is why CNN is going all in with Caitlyn Collins. I'm sure Rue is a great reporter. I'm sure Rue is highly trained in asking questions that no one gives a shit about. I'm sure she graduated with honors from Woke U with a PhD in gotcha questions, but I'm struggling to understand the reasoning behind CNN making Caitlyn Collins the face of the network. It doesn't make any sense. For starters, Rue has the charisma of poo. There is nothing magnetic about her personality, which would be fine if Caitlyn Collins was the manager at John Biden's nursing home, but CNN, they are relying on her to save their primetime dump. Throughout the fall, CNN, they have been booking Caitlyn Collins on the media circuit. She appeared with Bill Maher. She was on The Late Show with Steph Colbert. Let me ask you something. How many of you guys knew about that? If Sean Hannity was a guest with Jim Kimmel, it would be news throughout the mainstream media. If Joy Reid appeared with Jim Fallon, her appearance would generate headlines. Caitlyn Collins appears on multiple shows, and the only question that came out of those appearances was, who in the hell is that? Rue making appearances in the mainstream, it had zero impact on her ratings at CNN. And to make matters worse, her ratings have went from almost nothing to nothing. Leading up to the election, Caitlyn Collins, she was averaging between 800,000 viewers. Not bad, but not great. This was the busiest news cycle since the last election in 2020. The Rue had a couple of episodes that eclipsed 1 million viewers, but you would expect to see that number as your average in prime time. 1 million viewers, that should not be the exception. First 3 days of November, the 3 days leading up to the election, the Rue averaged 855,000 viewers. After the election, Caitlyn Collins has that number down to a cool 474,000. She has literally lost half of her audience in the last 3 weeks. Her ratings are lower now than they were 18 or so months ago when she debuted. And this is who CNN believes can be their savior? This is who CNN believes will carry the network into the future? Maybe they're right. Maybe Caitlyn Collins will carry CNN into the future. She will carry them directly into the woke cemetery. I don't get it. I don't understand the reasoning. CNN is in desperate need of a star. Now, to their credit, they have tried to make Caitlyn Collins a star. They have given her the push. She has been anchoring the primetime lineup. They allowed her to be the moderator when they organized that town hall with the Trumper. They have booked her appearances on late night television. They have tried to get normal people to accept Caitlyn Collins. Problem is, it ain't working. We have 3 years of evidence that proves it's not working. Morning show with Don Lemon, failure. Donnie gets fired. Rue becomes the face of the show. Failure. They hand her a dump in prime time. Failure. How much more failure does this poor woman have to endure? How much more evidence do they need? We have 3 years worth of data that proves Caitlyn Collins should not be the face of your network. But for some reason, CNN continues to force Rue on their audience. Why? You tell me, because I don't know. Why? Is it because she's young? Does she have potential? Maybe Caitlyn Collins has potential and I'm just not seeing it. Why does CNN continue pushing Caitlyn Collins? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.